Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, most importantly, fans of the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the dude that would not be stopped, could not be stopped, will never be stopped, even now, because tonight we are getting together to share some old stories, some memories, some how he got on our last damn nerve about the great one, Javan Bonds. Along with me tonight is the one and only Lee Edwards with the sexy beard, rocking, looking good tonight, brother. Looking good. Richard Brian Rose, the wild eyed Southern boy, up in the house with us, not rocking a beard. Bad look, bad look. And
Babyface. I can't. Beard's not a good look for me.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know, it
it's
looks
too
pre
bright.
adolescent, but it's okay.
Mm.
But tonight we also have Gavin's best friend in the whole wide world, and the one that when I introduce her, it's always Patty Fry Braccio in the house. So tonight, boys and girls, we are celebrating the life and times and the birthday of Javan Bonds. All right, guys, let's kick this thing off. All right. So first off, it's going to be ladies first. And second, no one in this group knew him any better than this lady right here.
Mm.
Patty, give them the whole story. How did this start? How did you wind up friends with the little psychopath?
Well, if he could stand, he would have been 6'1". So just saying.
There is that.
We measured. um, I was a fan first and foremost. I met him, found him after obviously reading Mark Tufo's books, and saw the foreword that Mark wrote for one of his books, and decided to look up the stories and see if I wanted to read them. And of course I was like, whoa, what are these about? Blues on, like, what is this? Blue peavies? Like what? So I read, actually, I think the first 3 or 4 books before I found the fan club on Facebook. And I was just kind of like a lurker fan, like kind of when you just first, join something, you just kind of get the feel of what's going on. And um uh and then Javin put out a call for fans to put their name in the hat to be killed in what was going to be book 7. So I was kind of catching up on all the books that he had out there. And so I mean, I put my name in, and he had a bunch. I mean, he had a ton of people. I mean, so then I got a message, because he was king of Facebook messages, you're reading my stories, I got your name from the thing, I'm gonna probably kill you in book 7. I'm gonna put out a message for everybody to send a voice message, that kind of thing. So the narrator can say your name. And he was like, how in the hell do you say your name? I mean, pure Javin, it didn't mince any words. So I kind of spelled it out. And he was like, what in the hell? I'm like, it's Italian. So, and then I didn't hear from him for a little while. And I mean, that was cool. I mean, I didn't really know him that well at that point. So, and then I sent the voice message in, and I got another message, and it was like, is that your real voice? And I was like, yeah. I mean, who else's voice would it be? um and pure Javin fashion. And if you ever got a like a flirtatious message from him, which a lot of people did, he
Horn
pretty
dog.
much, yeah, well, I mean, he tried wherever he could. I didn't blame him. He basically likened my voice message to a phone sex operator. And I was like, I don't get that, but okay.
I was
So
romantic.
hmm?
Very romantic. Very romantic.
Yeah, he had moves. So I just laughed, whatever, because I wasn't divorced or anything at that point in time. And then we just chatted on and off, not daily or anything at that point. That was kind of around the beginning of 2019. And we just became friends toward the end of 2019. We started chatting a lot more, and I just started kind of helping it. I guess he liked some of my ideas, and then I started helping him out with proofreading some stuff, and that kind of thing, which he had other fans help him out with that stuff too. So it wasn't anything out of the norm for him. And then, it just kind of grew from there. And then once I was separated, he kind of said, "Hey, I like you." And kind of at that point, I wasn't quite sure, because I'm older than him, and I was like, it's kind of weird. I never thought of myself as being in that kind of dynamic, but after we
You,
talked
Mrs.
more,
Robinson.
exactly. I was
Ooga.
like cougar, me? No. So, but yeah, and it just kind of developed from there.
All right. Well, along the way, there had to have been some funny moments as he was writing, and you were there to watch him write, especially having to use the dragon speak with the way he sounded when he talked. Oh, you've got to give us at least one good nug. One good nug off.
Well, there's so many that sometimes they blend together, but there was times where, for a little while, I was coming and visiting, and I was staying for about a week or two at a time, because my job, I can kind of work, wherever. And at the time I was in my rental house. My kids lived with me, and I had the dog, so they can watch the dogs while I was here. And so I came to visit and spend time with Javin, and I would be working in the other room, and he would be working in his room. Jack knows exactly, and Richard know exactly where that is. And I would just hear, "Mother effer." And I was like, okay, time to pay attention. What's going on? And he would have Amazon, and he would have a little, thing there. And he would ask all the time, synonyms, meaning of words, kind of phrases, that kind of thing. And the way his accent and the way his disease made him speak, it was very hard for Amazon to understand him a lot. So he would ask it about 17, literally one time, I think I counted, it was like 10 times. And he would ask it, Amazon, synonym for whatever word. And as soon as he would say it, it would go bing, and then would go, "This is CNN." Blah, 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 and it would just start playing news. And after I did it like 5 times, he'd be like, "Son of a bitch," and just start cussing up a blue streak. And so I would come in, or if his dad was home and I was in a meeting and I would hear him, he would come in and just stop everything and just be like, "Okay, what do you need?" And then for a little while, he didn't have a phone, because he figured it was useless for him. He didn't have a phone. And then when I came, and I was like, well, it's kind of easier to get a text than a Facebook message. Sometimes I can see those a lot faster. So I got him a phone on my phone plan, and we got an old phone just so he can, use it to text. And he's Siri. So Siri would always massacre pretty much everything that he would send. So he got back into the whole rhythm of texting people. So his poor brother would get these garbled messages. His mother would get these garbled messages. Sometimes I would get these garbled messages, because Siri would never be able to understand anything he said. So one that we still laugh about, that he sent his mother was making these protein balls out of peanut butter and flaxseed and all this stuff, just these energy balls or whatever. And Javin tasted them one day, And he was like, these are really good. And I said, yeah, they're actually pretty good. You know, and it had oatmeal and stuff in it. It was just a healthy thing. And he sent his mom a message that he liked the protein bowels, but next time they should consider putting in Rachel's. And so I got a text message from Debbie asking me what in the world was he asking about. So he wanted craisins. So Siri changed craisins into Rachel's or Crunchy Rachel or something. I can't even remember exactly what it was, but
okay.
it just was like, it was just ridiculous. So a lot of times, you know, we had to deal with that. And then even proofreading some of the chapters he would send me. Sometimes you would have to just, you know, phonetically sound out the word and figure out kind of what it was supposed to be, because Dragon would just change it to whatever it thought it was supposed to be phonetically. So I got quite proficient in that.
I was gonna say you had
You
to
know,
learn Japanese.
We call it Javanese, yeah,
Javanese.
JAV, Javanese, and Dragonese. So depending on who you're talking to. So yeah, that's what we used to refer that to. But
One thing that I think that we should point out to anyone watching this that doesn't know that just how incredible Javan Bonds was as an author, because he had a lot going against him. You know, he had a rare form of MS, which made him, you know,
Is it Friedreich's
legally blind.
ataxia?
Huh?
I think
Friedrich,
Friedrich's ataxia.
He was blind, he was deaf, and he still wrote 8 books. 8 really
10,
good books.
10
10.
actually,
That's
10.
oh,
And he
10.
was actually working on 11. Up in,
Oh,
he actually was writing the day, you know, that day that, you know, that night he passed. I mean, I wasn't here most of the day. I had gone to, he wanted me to go out and have some fun. And so I went with Tiffany, his sister-in-law, with the kids, and we went out to Birmingham to, even though it was October, it was November. It was Christmas Village, and they do this thing when they have a bunch of vendors. It's like 2 floors and stuff. So we had gone there most of the day. But that day he had a fantastic day. You know, he took a nap. He wrote. He ate well. Because for a little while he wasn't kind of eating very well. I mean, he didn't want people to know that he was not doing so well. So we kept it quiet a lot. I mean, obviously he posted when he had problems, but he was very vague, and he was super just, you know, kind of glossed over a lot of the issues that he had. But yeah, he had a great last day. I just, you know, they say you can't go back and, you know, the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, but, you know, I just really wish that I hadn't gone out and I was able, hopefully, you know, it would have been nice to spend that nice of a day that he had with him. Um, but you're right. As things started getting worse for him, he literally couldn't see me anymore. Like before, when I first started meeting him, he can see shapes, he can see colors, he can see light. He knew when it was daytime, he knew when it was nighttime. He can see just a bluish color on his huge, he doesn't have a monitor on it over his desk. He has an actual like 50-inch TV that they used as a monitor because he could not see. And at the end, he really couldn't see anything on that. So he was literally writing blind, like honest to God, couldn't see anything. He would feel on his desk to where his keyboard was. He had a mouse that he knew, we kind of kept it around in the same vicinity, and he knew where that was. And we had certain things on his desk for if he felt his sugar was, because he had diabetes, that was due to his Friedreich's ataxia. He had some candy he knew specifically in a certain bowl. He had gum that he can chew if he wanted to, mints, that kind of thing. And we had them in strategic places. So he just knew where to go for whatever he needed. But yeah, he was amazing. I don't know anybody. I mean, I'm sure there's other people out there, but none that I know or anybody else really knows that had the schedule he had and just the push and the drive to do what he did every single day. I mean, I'm able-bodied. I knock on wood, I don't have anything going on with me, health-wise. And I don't even want to get out of bed in the morning. And
You're here.
he would put, yeah. We had a strict schedule in the morning. He would snooze the alarm once for me, and that was it. And then on the weekends, he would let me sleep an hour past our normal alarm, and then that was it. We had to get up. Whether we had anything to do or not, he had stuff he had to do.
Yep. Busy man, busy. Gotta go. All right.
That's
Well,
it.
I'm gonna move us along because one, I know Mr. Richard Ryan Rose not feeling so hot tonight, but he's
Yes.
still here. He's here in support of
I'm hanging.
Javan, love for Javan, and we appreciate the hell out of you for that, my brother. And I look forward to seeing you this weekend. It's gonna be a good time. New puppy. Love to see the new puppy. So, man, how did you first tangle up with the Javan Meister?
I want to clarify that question. Just saying.
No, I think it's good the way it is. Yeah. How'd you tangle up with it? How'd you meet?
How'd y'all meet? That's what he's asked.
Yeah.
Well, I think we already answered that, didn't we?
Well, in old interviews.
Not on this call.
Huh?
In
in
old interviews we have, but we haven't discussed how you came to know Javan and what he meant to you and what he did for you.
Oh, you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Richard
okay.
Ryan Rose, the only one I got on screen.
Okay. I thought you was talking to Patty.
No.
She just told us how she met him. I was like, crackhead? Okay.
Eat another gummy, dummy.
Like he just said.
Okay, sorry. I'm a little slow. I've had a bad day, okay. But okay, so I joined I got direct marketed by Gareth Stevens, GJ Stevens. And he suggested that I join Written Undead. So I joined Written Undead, and at the time I hadn't published my book yet. I'd had it completed. I was still editing, and but I let him know, hey, I've got a book that's coming out pretty soon. And then, well, Javan messages me on Facebook. He's like, hey, do you write zombie books? And I was like, well, I've got one zombie book that at that time I had published my book. I said, yeah, I actually just recently published a book with zombies and Sasquatches. And he's like, oh man, that sounds cool, and but we got to talking, and Javan, he and I are on the same lines as far as the political spectrum in a lot of ways, and but he's talking about snowflakes at ACX and all this, and going up, and like all these people, giving all these excuses why they can't write a damn book, and I'm the one, I'm blind and deaf, and I'm writing a book. I'm writing books.
Mm-hmm.
I instantly liked the guy. I mean, I liked him from the get go, and he even reached out to my wife. He liked to do the direct marketing where he would send a message. He would message people and just talk to them. Hey, how you doing? How you like zombie books? I have 10 of them. Yes. But and so he reached out to my wife one night. Like, hey, you like zombies?
Did he know that it was your wife?
No, he didn't.
He didn't care.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I honestly, he didn't care. He just figured I'm gonna get it out there. So that's funny.
Yeah, it's like he's attacking your friends list and whatnot. Like, okay, get me onto the friends list. I need to see who I can get.
Javan was a source of motivation for me, no doubt. And you talked about, you asked me what did he do for me? Oh, I tell you, he gave me tons of advice because I was a rookie author. I had no clue what I was doing. Absolutely no clue. I didn't know how to market my book. I mean, I'm still working on it. But I mean, he gave me some great advice, which really boosted my sales and everything. I mean, I came in, I wrote a book. I wasn't an experienced author or anything. I just wrote a book and I didn't have any idea what to do with it. And Javan pointed me in the right direction and gave me all kinds of guidance on that. And he was just an amazing author, and he's an amazing guy in general.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. Now,
That's my story.
all right. Well, I'm gonna put you on the spot here, just because I can, because it's not like a structured show.
Mm-hmm.
Allow that. So, when we were at the celebration of life service, and it was your turn to go up and speak, we all got the same instruction. You're not allowed to cry or choke up because Javan ain't having it. And that's why, Debbie was right there standing guard.
Yeah.
How did it go for you when you spoke?
Not well.
That's
I
They're
didn't
there to
have to
correct me,
speak
though.
because I
She's there to
couldn't.
correct me.
Yeah, there was no way I could get up there and not cry. So I was like, I'm not doing it.
Totally understandable. Totally.
Absolutely.
I had a hard time not crying. I can imagine how hard it'd been for you.
Oh, geez.
Oh yeah. I mean, I still cry every day, a couple times a day. Doesn't matter. So
Believe it. I mean, and for you guys watching at home, some of you may be stumbling across this on my Facebook feed or Richard's or Lee's or Patty's Facebook feed and don't know anything about the person we're talking about. Those of you that do, y'all already get it. The man cared more for us than we cared for ourselves. He took the situation he was in and he used it to uplift others. And I know if I've got a cold, don't bother me. Leave me alone. I am the biggest baby you'll ever want to meet. This dude was literally living what to me, being like Patty said earlier, an able-bodied person out here just rocking it. Oh, I would be the biggest crybaby you ever saw. Like, no. So,
Javan, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say Javan may have been in a wheelchair and everything, but he was still a badass.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he would tell me all the time when I would complain, he'd go, "Oh, I'm blind, I'm in a wheelchair." Every single time I'm like, wah, wah, wah.
Well, moving this train right on down the line. Leah, you know, you just recently got really into the writing, and I'm pretty sure he had at least a little bit of influence in that. But
Little.
give us a little bit of Javan from your perspective.
Like Rich, I joined Written Undead, and all of a sudden the next day a pop-up comes, or a tell, whatever they're called. I'm not technologically whatever you want to say thing, but one of those popped up. It's Javan, and he's like, "Are you a writer?" I'm like, "No, I always wanted to be one, but I've never done it." He goes, "Well, let me tell you how to market." And he goes, "I don't even know who you are. Who is?" And we talked for maybe 30 minutes, and then I had something to do. And then all of a sudden he gets on Written Undead and just starts going to town on these people about their marketing and how their marketing's bad and this and that. And it's just like, I'm like, oh my God, I just talked to this dude, and this dude's a complete dick. Thinking, I can't believe how he's talking to these people. But then he messaged me again and again and again, and we started talking. And then I realized the dude just cared about everyone. He wanted everybody to be the best that they could. So he was making sure that everybody knew how to market. Like Rich said, he had a lot to do with Rich and his marketing. And that's all he was trying to do. But for somebody who was new to the group, I was just like, oh my God, how does anybody put up with this dude? But I love Javan. Javan was awesome. He is awesome. you know, I have a daughter in a wheelchair and everything, so I know that life, you could say, and just the amount that he got accomplished with all the barriers that man
Yeah,
had.
in
So,
a short amount of time.
yeah.
Well, you know, when he reached out to me, oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, when he reached out to me, you know, he asked me if I wanted to be a featured author on the Written Undead. I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, like that sounds cool. And he told me, so okay, you got to do 2 posts per day for 7 days, and he had some other requirements I can't remember, but I met all of them. And he said, if you do this, then I'll introduce you to the group and bring you into the fold and make you a featured author. I'm like, sweet. I mean, like I didn't get this kind of offer from anyone else. You know, I was a rookie author and just, you know, released my first book, and I had no idea what I was doing. And it really, the Written Undead experience and everything has just been a wonderful experience. You know, I ended up on a podcast with Jack, and it really did a lot for me as an author, and I've learned a lot, and I'm a much better writer because of him.
Oh yeah.
I think he is better off for knowing Javan. Actually, that dude he's amazing. You can't say anything that he's a loss to the writing community. And I mean, to everybody really, but when it comes to writing community, if we had more like him, well, everybody in the world would be an author if we had more like him.
Or at least try to, yeah. I can't string 2 words together, let alone even speak. And he would always say, why don't you write something? I'm like, dude, no. Not everybody can be a writer.
All right, I'm calling it right here. I've told her times and times again, because we've actually had that conversation about her writing. Bullshit. If my ass can write a short story and get it published, not in 1 magazine, but 2, your ass can write a short story about something. Trust me, harder than I am.
About our dogs, Patty.
My dogs? My bulldog?
There's the short story. It's you having to defend your dogs from Lee trying to kidnap your dogs, but make it like a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Well, I always know, like, if they show up missing, he's the prime suspect. So.
Well, he'll try to list me as an accomplice, but don't believe it. I'll just have Richard back me up that I was at his house. Not happy.
All right, sleeping on the cot in my wife's, crap room.
All right, I want to go around real quick, and I want to ask y'all, and this is the deeper thing. Now, it's a little bit deeper. What's the one thing that really, I think Lee kind of already said his because it was from the early on, but what was the one thing that really truly did get on your damn nerves that he would do, and he probably actually knew he was doing it and liked it?
Messaging the blue and demanding you mark it. So, like I said, that was just to me, like being brand new to Written Undead and seeing him write all that stuff, and then him messaging me. He didn't know me from Adam, and he's messaging me just out of the blue. Hey, you want to know about marketing? No,
not really.
But now I'll be honest. Now I wish I had Javan.
Yeah. Javan's secret was everyone was his friend until they weren't.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, he definitely held a grudge. There ain't no two ways about that.
Yeah. Yeah, he could for certain things and certain people, yeah.
Yeah, well, crap, I'll just make this like a small piece of, the story I'm eventually going to tell. But me being caught on the borderline between Jeff Thompson and Javan Bonds, whoo, those were some good times.
Yeah.
Me love that.
Yeah. He wasn't Jeff's biggest fan, but it bothered him when he found out Jeff passed.
Hey, dude, he couldn't have been any more respectful.
He
He literally texted me, you know, after he'd found out and was like, dude, you know, we didn't get along, whatever, but, you know, I hate it. I know you loved him. I'm sorry, you know, the whole thing, man. He came through. I mean, he was a grown ass man. He was a grown ass man. And
Oh
he
yeah.
was what, honestly, you look around us nowadays, the younger kids coming up, the determination, it's not there. You look them in the eyes, it's not there. You look him in the eyes, granted, one's going this way, one's looking straight at you, but
Mm.
there was determination there. There was, I will not fail, right there in those eyes. When you looked into them, you knew you were looking at somebody that, even though they couldn't see you, they knew you were there, and they were making that connection every time.
I said it in a post I put the other day, and he embodied the principle of resilience. Probably one of the most
Absolutely.
resilient people I've ever met.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he I think part of the reason too was after a certain point, he didn't have the time for that, you know, and he knew he didn't have the time for that. So it was what it was. He pushed it aside and just kept going. So, like with Jeff, he knew that he was never going to get through to Jeff his position, and Jeff was not going to get his position, you know, through to Javan. So he was like, fine, whatever, I'm done. I'm moving on because I got so much stuff I need to get done, and I don't know how much time I have. So I think a lot of that was some of the things that, you know, kind of went through his head a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to profess to know everything about that man. Um, but I think some of that kind of came through to me. That's kind of how he was. I mean, because I mean, I was like, how does this not bother you? You know, I mean, because I'm a lot softer than he was with things like that. You know, I mean, it bothers me if somebody doesn't like me, or, you know, or doesn't care for something I did, especially if it was not something that was meant to be done or something like that. But he would just like, it is what it is, and I can't do anything about it. And whatever I'm going to say is not going to change it. So I've got to move on. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
Well, jumping
Just my
around
opinion.
again on more Javanisms per se, um, have either of the two other male attendants ever caught a text message from Javan where he straight up called you a pussy?
Like you get Jack?
Like regularly, I would get.
Yeah, you would get that regularly.
He never called me a pussy.
No, me either.
Me one a couple of times.
Okay, at least I'm not alone. Hot damn. Jesus Christ. He would
So
want me
if
to
you
like,
didn't get it, man.
man, well, yeah, no, yeah. He would send me a guest and he'd be like, oh, and they should have audiobook codes. So just tell them, you know, you need some audiobook codes, check out their stuff. And I felt cringy about that. Like, I don't want to come in like I'm trying to moot shit over here, you know? I'm like, it's me, and you're going to do a show with me, and it's going to be like, where the fuck am I? It's like, so I'm like, I don't want to bum anything off people. And so I would tell him, it's like, nah, dude, I'm not asking for anything. He'd be like, I'll quit being a pussy. Just freaking ask them. They'll give them to you. And then
Well,
like the Mark
and
Tufo thing, that was a
yeah.
long running problem right there. Because he told me, he said, I could have had you Mark Tufo from like the very fucking beginning, you know, but you kept being a pussy and you just wouldn't freaking do the show with him. And then I finally did it. And, you know, and then he still, after that, on certain occasions, would still remind me that I am, in fact, a pussy. So,
Well, Javin always was frank, and he always told the truth.
yes, he did. And shut
He
up,
didn't
Lee.
you didn't know, you never had to worry about where you stood with Javin. He'd let you know.
Oh, you did
Yeah.
not. Absolutely did not. Well,
Yeah.
all right. My story with Javin, I'm going to try to sub edit it some because it's kind of long now. Because over 3 years worth of information. I still cannot believe that I have been a part of something that Javan brought me into over 3 years ago. And to a dude that just turned 49 years old, almost 50, to have a 30-something-year-old dude think you were cool and want you to, like, spearhead something for him. Like, go be our face. Was he would tell me, and Patty knows, go be my Johnny Carson. Which, first off, dude, you're like in your 30s. What about Letterman, Leno? We're going all the way back to Carson. Apparently, he thought I was pretty old, but that's okay.
No, this Carson is a legend.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted to be.
I remember Johnny
He
Carson.
knew you could. I do too. I'm
So,
old.
Same here.
you know, I took him up on the offer, and thank you to J.S. Patrick, by the way, for actually going to Javan in the first place and saying, dude, you need to get this idiot to do something for us. Javan's like, yeah, he was pretty fucking funny, wasn't he? So, you know, here we are all these years later when he allowed me to become the, I'm going to say it, the face of Written Undead for a while, and then eventually having something that was succeeding well enough that we began to encompass everything and became the Book Asylum. And, you know, hosts came, my original crew, Angel Ramon, Richard Ryan Rose. Another example of when I got called pussy. I felt like we had 3 guys. We were missing something, and we needed a woman.
Need some eye candy beside me.
We needed it
you know?
bad. And
Fair enough.
I knew who I wanted. So I went to Javan and asked him, you know, hey, dude, can you holler at that Patty chick, see if she wants to do this show with us? And he's like, dude, just fucking text her. Quit being a pussy. I'm like, damn it, you got me again. I'm like, all right, fine. And so I reached out to her, and you got the beginnings of the Written Undead podcast, like where we started from. I didn't think that damn original one-on-one interview thing I did, which is where I met Richard, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Met Angel. I didn't think that thing was going to last 3-4 weeks, and they'd be like, "Yeah, this dude's an idiot. We're done," and that'd be the end of it. And yet Javan was still just cheerleading me on. He was just over on the side. All right, hey, I got this person, man. You need to contact them. They got audiobook codes. Go see what they got. Go get that. And it's like, dude, okay. Well, we found ourselves at one point where we were consistently 3-4 weeks, you know, out booked, you know, like we had, you know, 3 or 4 weeks covered. We're good. All of a sudden, I don't know what the hell happened. I'm figuring Patty smuggled him a damn 8-ball in there, and boy, he went to rolling. Next thing I know, we're like 6 months out booked, and he's still coming in with more. And it's like, dude, slow down, calm down, we're good. He's like, no, no, no. It just kept coming. And that's when I realized how much that show that, I mean, honestly, I don't know how many of the episodes he ever actually listened to, but he cared about it. That show succeeding, that show being a flagship for like everything he was doing, it meant so much to him that he would fight, and he would bitch at me, and he'd be like, get, go, 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 do the thing. And it's like, damn it, Javan. And there were even times where I would hear ding, you know, from the tablet, and I'd look over, and I'd see Javan Bonds. And by the time I turn my head, you know, the notification go away, and I'm like, fuck. Activate the tablet, see what Javan said. Here we go. And that dude changed my life in ways I can't explain even to myself. Like, I was a hermit. I went to work, came home, drank beer, watched TV. Lather, rinse, repeat. And then he showed up. And now I'm going to book conventions. I'm going to Bigfoot festivals. I'm hanging out in Knoxville this weekend with Mr. Ryan Rose. I've gone hunting with Lee Edwards, killed me 2 hogs, 1 shot each. I've got to hug the Patty Fry Rachio. And none of this happens without Javan. And right now, I'm actually wearing a t-shirt that I bought him for a birthday not too long ago. And Patty got it back to me. Thank you for that.
Wow.
So everybody, this was one of Javan's shirts that I sent to him.
Yeah, he liked that one too. We described it to him and he really enjoyed it. He wore it a couple of times, I think. We might have even have a picture of him with it on. I'll have to find one. But he liked it.
Oh no, it did not just do that. Oh no.
What?
What's wrong with you?
I disappeared. Hang on.
You're
Oh, I
there.
thought maybe
Still
did
on,
something
huh?
in your pants.
You're still here.
We see
Yeah.
you.
I know, but I can't see y'all. Where the hell did y'all go?
No, we disappeared.
Yes.
We ran.
I'm
away.
looking at the Zoom thing. Okay, there. That was a Javan, I guarantee you that. He's like, I'm
Probably.
gonna fuck with y'all right now. That was a full blown Javan,
Yeah,
guarantee.
Coach Gavin saying, "Shut up, pussy."
Keep me up
Yeah.
over here.
He
Now,
called everybody that. It was his favorite. He knew
well, now,
it was a big motivator.
well, now, before we got this whole shindig started, we started a conversation that I suddenly realized, wait, stop. Save this for the show. Let's get that one going. Who wants to lead this sucker off? You.
So, okay. Richard Ryan Rose, Lee Edwards, Jack Childress came to the house to visit Javan. It was July, right? End of
Yeah.
July.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It was
around
hot
there.
out.
Yeah, it was hot and came for a few days to visit Javan because he wasn't doing that great, but he was starting to feel a little bit better and he had just gotten his new wheelchair. And so they came to hang out. And and also, just to cheer Javan up a little bit because he was kind of feeling a little down. And so we having a good time, and Lee, Jack, and Richard on the way here stopped and grabbed fireworks. And not like the stuff on the side of the road fireworks, like the big stuff like professionals shoot off. So that one of the nights, what is it? It was the second night.
Mhm.
Josh Harden was here. He came because he lives about 25-30 minutes away from Javan, and he became a friend. He was a fan and became a friend. So we had him.
I'm the one that texted him. I said, "Get your ass here."
Yeah. Good thing he did.
I
It was-
needed
it
more.
was
I needed
to have
more
him.
witnesses.
Poor Lee just started to feel bad when he got here, so he really wasn't out and about a lot. But Jack and Richard went out to go and do the fireworks, and Lee, you were still in the house, right? Because you
Oh,
weren't
I was
when it
so
happened,
passed
right?
out in the house from being sick for the whole time. I was sick for a week after I got home. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, you were sick for a little bit. So anyway, Richard and Jack had put a couple of lit some fireworks, and woo, they were nice, and wow, these are great. And we
Okay,
had
now real
just
quick, let's reiterate. Me and him were probably the two most not capable two people to be doing this, and yet y'all all let us. Just saying, y'all let
Yeah,
us.
it wasn't our fault.
I don't think there was a way to not let you.
Totally not our fault.
Yeah. No, not at all. But so we went out on the porch and we were all kind of partaking and watching these fantastical fireworks going off. And I was getting Javin out on the porch, even though we really couldn't see him. He wanted to be out there, and we were gonna, kind of tell him what was going on. And one of these fireworks goes off, and it was like boom, and we were like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And all we do is we hear, "Are you all right? You all right?" Everybody's going, "What happened? Are you all right?" Because it was pitch black. I mean, from the porch, the lights were on the porch. You could not see out in the yard. And you see fire, flashlights going, this and this and that. And, yeah, I'm okay. So Jack sits there and goes, "Yeah, I'm okay," yells out. And then not even like a minute later, "No, I don't think I'm okay."
I'm hit.
So I guess the firework went up and then went sideways or something. Something happened. I guess they were
Well, the
discussing.
firework
It
went
wasn't-
off right as it escaped the tube. It was a
I
mortar
can tell you
shell.
what.
Right as it
Oh, it was
escaped
a
the
mortar.
tube, boom.
I can
Yeah.
tell you.
All right, please
Beavis and
do.
Butthead there didn't unravel the fuse like it's supposed to. There's a fuse that's like a foot long.
Yeah,
And
they're long.
they
Yeah.
didn't unravel it, so it was like 2 inches.
That's an
So,
important
yeah.
message, boys and girls.
Jack,
All right,
you know,
Unravel
stuff.
your wick.
All right. Well,
Jack
let me give
it,
let
puts
Before
it in the
lighting-
tube and then looks down the tube.
let me
Gotcha.
give you
Okay.
let me give you the
Well.
story from Ground Zero. So I get this thing, Richard hands to me, and it's like it's a ball. It's a ball, like whatever, and I see the fuse all wrapped around it. I'm like, "Oh, cool! This kind of works that way. You and drop it. Yeah, that'll work." So we did that with the first one, and it effing worked. It worked the first time. It didn't go blow up in my face. It went boom and went up. It's like, all right, cool. So I got the
It was
next.
nice.
We fired like 3 or 4 before that happened.
Yeah, it was a couple.
So I'm like, because I was just kind of tugging it, just getting enough fuse to drop it and back up and let it go. Well, for some reason, this one, the devil possessed one. This freaking thing was meant to entertain Javan. I guarantee you it was, because I had long enough fuse. It should have freaking worked. I lit it, I dropped it, and I went, "Oh fuck." Boom! And it hit me. And I knew I'd been hit in the forehead. And Richard's behind me, cowering like an Air Forceman. And so
Yeah, and
I'm
I didn't get
standing,
hit either.
so I'm standing there, and he's like, "Dude, are you all right?" And I just said, "I got hit." He said, "What do you mean you got hit?" And that's about the time I felt the blood start running down my face, and I was like, and I'm bleeding. And that's when all hell broke loose, and it became
Yeah.
a
That
pretty
looked like something
chaotic
off Creep
scenario.
Show.
But this is where it all matters about who you make friends with in life. Being friends with Javin had a bonus. His brother happened to was a nurse practitioner.
He's a physician's assistant. He's a PA.
That's it.
Um,
He had
Okay.
a kit in his car. This dude
well,
literally comes in.
I think he had some stuff, but actually Randy and Debbie had the suture kit here because they're kind of.
I can believe that. I can believe that. Not that they're preppers.
Preppers.
I'm not telling nobody that. They got it covered. So I laid on Javin Bonds' freaking couch.
Leather couch.
This. Can y'all see it?
Sexy.
Got that stitched up while I lay there,
Big scars,
drunk
man.
as a damn skunk. And yeah.
Oh, before you even got that done, Javin was just laughing his butt off.
That's what I'm saying.
He was like, Jack got blown up. What the hell? F this, blah, blah, blah. Laughing.
It just so happens there was a PA and his parents happened to have a daggum suture kit. So I mean,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, you need to stop
It's
being an
prepared.
atheist there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was divine intervention there, Jack.
All I know was I got woke up by Jack screaming like a little girl. And he makes fun of Richard Wright and Rose for cowering behind him. But when Jack drops it down, I have no doubt where that scar was that Jack looked down the barrel.
He didn't. I have to say, I don't remember him screaming. I will defend my Jack.
Finally, somebody,
He
Jesus.
screamed like a little bitch. That's my story. I'm
Well,
Well, then I couldn't hear him over Javin going.
to quote Javin here, he was screaming like a pussy. So
Sounds about right. All right, guys, it's getting late. We don't want to, take up everybody's time, and we all got to move on and whatnot. But
Oh,
I want to go around and I
oh,
want
Patty
one
wants
final. I want one final.
He's got
No, go
something
ahead,
she wants
Patty.
to say.
I just wanted to say, before we sign off, before I forget, all of Javan's friends, who are now kind of my friends, just thank you so much for reaching out to me, these last few months, just taking the time out of your day to see how I'm doing. You don't know how appreciative I am of that. Uh, I said, I'm not gonna cry and I'm not gonna cry, but thank you so much for that. And you just don't know how much it means to me. So I really do appreciate it. So all of you, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Damn it! Now you gonna fuck around and make me cry.
Sorry.
Ah,
I just had to get it out before I
Good thing I don't have tear ducts.
yeah.
Oh,
An asshole. Guys, it's bittersweet that we got to sit here and tell the stories and remember, and obviously we're never going to forget. No way we're ever going to forget him. And it sucks that we got to figure out how to move forward and continue on as always. But for some reason, I don't know why, I feel like his voice is going to echo inside our eardrums for the rest of our lives. Like literally, when you're laying on your deathbed, you're going to hear Javan going, "Hey, pussy, get your ass up here."
you're the only one going to be hearing that. I think me and Richard there will hear, hey, let me tell you about marketing. So
So, man, to all the fans, all the friends, everybody out there, it's a happy birthday celebration of Javan, and we're going to love him. We're going to love you wherever the fuck you are forever and ever and ever. So for Richard Ryan Rose, Lee Edwards, and Javan's love of his life, Patty, I sign off.